At Parker, Pollard, Wilton, and Peden, we have a strong commitment to providing our clients with quality legal services. Attorneys Barry Wilton and Ashley Harris of our Business and Real Estate Group will be discussing potential tax consequences of forgiveness of debt.
I just spoke to a potential new client. He owns a piece of real estate that secures a loan of about $3 million. When he got the loan, the property was worth about $3.5 million, but with the decline in the real estate market, it's worth about $2.5 million now. He's kind of happy because he just got off the phone with his lender, and he thinks they're going to agree to write the loan down to $2 million, forgive about $1 million. I told him that this could have some issues for him. He could have some tax forgiveness income of about $1 million.
I bet you weren't happy then.
That caused some concern for him, so I told him I was going to come to you and we'll discuss it and then I'll get back to him.
You know, it's interesting that you got that call because we're getting a lot of calls like that, and I think it's related to the downturn in the real estate market. And it's really, really a complex issue that a lot of people don't pay attention to when they're trying to restructure things. And what we're going to need to do is get a lot more information from him before we can decide what we can do, if anything. But the most important thing that you need to tell him right now is don't talk to the lender anymore, don't cut a deal with the lender, because if he does that, then it may be too late for us to help him.
Okay. I'll give him a call, tell him don't talk to the bank yet, let's get a plan in place first.
Then let me ask you a few questions that will help us decide how we can help this guy. Do you know how he owns the property? Does he own it in an LLC, an S corporation, a C corporation, or individually?
The property's owned by an LLC. He's not the only member. There's another member that is an investor.
Well, you know, it's really important as to how the property is owned, and let me kind of give you an example of that. There are certain exceptions to the forgiveness of indebtedness rules, and the most important one is the insolvency or bankruptcy exception. And basically, if you're bankrupt or insolvent, there is no forgiveness of indebtedness. Okay, you don't have to file bankruptcy as long as the borrower is insolvent. If his assets are less than his liabilities, he's insolvent. So you don't know whether or not this guy's insolvent or not, do you?
Wow, that's about $160,000 in tax. I don't think that investor's going to be very happy.
You're right, that would be $160,000 in the maximum tax bracket today, but with the way taxes are going, yeah, it could be $200,000 next year, so he's definitely not going to be a happy camper. Now, all is not lost because there are other exceptions that may apply to the forgiveness of indebtedness income. If the loan is a non-recourse loan as opposed to a recourse loan, different rules may apply. Congress, in one of the few things they've done right recently, passed a law in 2009 that dealt with this issue because they were concerned about real estate projects going bad. And if you do in fact have forgiveness of indebtedness income, you can defer it. If you received it in 2009 or 2010, you can defer the payment of the taxes until 2014 to 2018. Now that doesn't save you on the taxes, but it allows you to wait 4 or 5 years to make the payment. Finally, there are some things that we may be able to do to restructure the partnership. If it is a partnership or an LLC that owns the property, we may be able to convert it into an S corp. We may be able to do some other things that if we get those done before the bank forgives the debt, then we may be able to eliminate or minimize the forgiveness of indebtedness income. So there's some things that we may be able to do to really help the guy. But as we said a little bit earlier, just tell him not to talk with the bank anymore and to bring all his documents in and come see us right away.
I'm going to go give him a call right now and we'll find a time to get him in and talk.
We hope you found this information helpful, and if you'd like to know more about this or any other topic, please call or email us today.